As much as we would love to spend every second of our lives with our fluffy little friends, sometimes the universe tragically forces you to go to work. Ugh. And what's worse, not all jobs will let you take your puppy with you. What's a dog owner to do? The good news is that dogs can actually do okay being left alone for 4 to 6 hours at a time, as long as you do a few crucial things. In this video, we've gathered 11 best tips to help ensure that your dog doesn't miss you and actually has a happy time while you're out of the house. But before we dive in, why not subscribe and join our canine loving community for more tips and tricks on how to care for your dog? Tip number 1. Leave them a gift. Dogs are very scent-oriented creatures and identify their owners by smell rather than sight. You can use this to your advantage. If you have to leave your dog alone, you can try giving them something to sleep on or play with that as your smell. Some dogs will even steal clothes or small items that their owner handles regularly to try and solve this problem for themselves. Remember though, dogs chew when they're upset, so don't give them anything breakable or that you wouldn't want to get ruined. Tip number 2. Doggy entertainment. Your dog probably isn't that interested in the latest chart-topping hits or in catching up on the newest episode of that murder mystery series you like. But that doesn't mean that they can't enjoy listening to the radio or watching TV. Leaving one of these on at a low volume can provide a soothing background noise of human voices to help your pup feel less alone. If you want to control what your dog is listening to, and make sure they don't accidentally end up watching or hearing something with scary thunderstorm or fireworks noises, you can find specially designed YouTube videos for dogs that you can play while they're home alone. You can also ring your dog and leave them a message on the answering machine. Although be warned, some dogs may be distressed by hearing your voice when they can't see or smell you. Tip number 3. Here's how to start. If you want to start leaving your dog alone, never do it cold turkey. If you just walk out the door and don't come back for 4 hours, when you walk in the door again, your dog, and potentially your home, is likely to be a wreck. Instead, start small. Begin by leaving your dog alone for 30 minutes a day, and then increase that time to an hour after a few days. Keep going until your dog is able to feel comfortable being left alone for multiple hours. Tip number 4. A safe place. Give your dog a safe place. Even if you let your dog have the run of the house while you're away, most pups will still appreciate having somewhere cozy to retreat to if the empty house gets too much. This space can be a kennel, a dog bed, or even a closet or small room. The important thing is that it's somewhere enclosed where your dog can feel safe. To help make it more cozy, try putting some soft things in there for your pup to sleep on, and maybe 1 or 2 of their favorite toys. Tip number 5. Morning workout. There are 2 reasons why our dogs might mess up the house while we're away. One is anxiety, which will get better over time. The other is boredom. Dogs chew things when they're bored and need to work off some energy, and that can be bad news for your soft furnishings. To help keep your dog from getting too bored while you're away, try taking them for an extra vigorous walk in the morning before you leave for the day. If you give them enough exercise before you go, they'll hopefully be all tuckered out for most of the day and will spend it snoozing in their den rather than getting into trouble. Tip number 6. Toys. Toys are a great way to keep your dog entertained while you're away, and they can also be used as a way to get your dog to feel more positive about their alone time. If you keep some special toys to be given to your dog only while you're out of the house, then when your dog sees you getting ready to leave, they're less likely to think, "Oh no, I'm going to be lonely all day," and more likely to think, "Oh yeah, I get to play with those cool toys." This works especially well if the alone time toys are ones that require a bit more mental effort from your dog. Puzzle feeders or toys that are filled with peanut butter can be a great way to ensure that your puppy has a fun day at home. Tip number 7. Be strong. The first time you leave your dog alone in the house can be difficult. You see that little face, those big eyes staring after you. They look so cute and sad. How can you resist going back for one last pet or to reassure them again that you'll be back soon? But don't. Being left alone is scary for your dog because they don't know what's going to happen. Dogs will often look to their humans to figure out how they should react to a situation. If the human is calm and unbothered, the dog is more likely to assume that things must be all right. If the human is noticeably freaking out, getting upset, and constantly returning to give them extra pets, however, your dog is likely to assume that things must be really serious and get more freaked out than they would otherwise. Tip number 8. Telling them off. When you come home after a hard day at work to find that your favorite vase has been destroyed, or your couch cushions have been ripped up, or there's pee on the rug, it can be tempting to scold your dog for their bad behavior, but you mustn't give in to this urge. Firstly, because your dog likely won't understand. Dogs don't connect events the way that we do. If you don't actually catch your dog in the act, they won't make the link between you getting mad and whatever they did. They'll just assume that you decided to tell them off randomly today. Secondly, because if this happens too many times then, even if your dog doesn't learn to associate their bad behavior with you telling them off, they might start to associate you coming home with them getting into trouble. This might result in your dog hiding from you or refusing to greet you when you come home, which you definitely don't want. If your dog seems to behave badly while you're out of the house, assume that it's caused by anxiety and try to work on combating the problem by increasing your dog's confidence when home alone, rather than telling them off or punishing them. Tip number 9. Prevent water accidents. Your dog can definitely last a few hours without water, but they won't enjoy it. Unfortunately, dogs are also sometimes very clumsy creatures, and even if you leave them with a full water bowl, there's a risk that they'll knock it over and spend the rest of the day with nothing to drink. To decrease your chances of coming home to a dehydrated dog, try leaving them 2 water bowls in different rooms. You should also try to buy proper dog water dishes instead of just using a bowl that was designed for humans, as these are designed to be harder for your playful pooch to accidentally tip over. Tip number 10. Prevent chewing accidents. Like we said earlier, dogs chew when they're anxious. It's a self-soothing behavior designed to calm them down. While you can make your dog less likely to chew by providing them with fun toys to distract them, you're never going to be able to stop them from chewing altogether. As such, it's a good idea to leave your dog with some extra chew toys while you're away. This way, not only will they be less tempted to start gnawing on your slippers, but their usual chew toys will also last longer. Tip number 11. Human company. Just because your dog can be left alone for 6 hours doesn't mean that they wouldn't appreciate some human company during the day. If you live near your office, try to pop home during your lunch break to play with your pup. If you can't make it, then consider hiring a dog walker or getting a friend or family member to check in. Dogs love to lick, from our faces to our feet to our hands to our ears. Barely any part of us escapes that slobbery tongue. But did you know that the meaning behind those licks are very, very different? Check out this video to find out what it means when your dog licks your face, feet, hands, or ears.